Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Thursday morning to you all. Hope you guys are getting up and having a great start to your day. A great week out there so far as we're winding it down, inching a little bit closer to that weekend. I got you an update on what's going to unfold today for your Thursday, July 21st. Today's my little girl's birthday. She turns 5 today. It's my last child. It's my youngest child. So it's always kind of sad. I know maybe you parents can relate when you tuck your kid in at night, the night before they turn the next age, knowing that, that's your last child and that's the last time they will be X number of years old. And, last night being the last night, she would be 4 years old. It's always kind of that emotional moment. You just kind of look at them a little bit longer before they kind of drift to sleep. So I know parents can relate to that, but kids are growing on up. I got a 5 and a 7-year-old, but so today's going to be a good day, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen. If you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. Appreciate y'all's support. If you guys got anything that I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook. It's a great way to interact with me. Water vapor loop. So what we got going on here is this ridge, it's starting to scoot one way or the other, but in general, I think Texas is going to have a better chance for some rain today. It's been very, very hot. It's going to be very, very hot today, but I do think maybe areas of Oklahoma and Texas will have a chance of some showers and storms today, so maybe you guys get some rain. We'll talk about that in this video. Then there's a big complex of showers and storms that's entered out of Kentucky, and it's kind of into areas of Tennessee. It's entering the southern Appalachian Mountains and will eventually try to hold on some steam for North Georgia and the western areas of the Carolinas. We'll see about that. The strong upper low continues to pivot up here in southeast Canada and bringing in a little bit more drier air across most of the Ohio Valley, but not before kicking up some strong to severe storms today in the interior parts of the Northeast. So let's keep rolling here. Storm Prediction Center, we got a large slight risk. This stretches from Jackson, Mississippi, all the way to Raleigh, North Carolina, and all the big cities in between: Birmingham, Atlanta, Columbus, Columbia, Charlotte. You have a slight risk. Outside that is that marginal risk, but this is not super common for this time of the year. Slight risk in the middle of summer, but it's still not totally uncommon. But you get this really once you start to have an enhanced risk or something like that. That starts to get really rare for this far south at this time of the year. But you have a slight risk for the Northeast also. Now, this is really driven off of this strong upper low, excuse me, in southeast Canada. I'm sorry, guys. Got a little something in my throat here. But so you are actually going to have the kinematics, which is that favorable wind energy aloft, to actually promote a little bit of a tornado threat in the interior areas of the Northeast. We'll talk about that. But down here, like I said, that 2% risk of a tornado. I don't expect this to really get upgraded, but it could. But for now, I think 2% is a good call. Wind threat, 15% risk in these yellow areas of damaging winds occurring in 25 miles in a given location. The hail threat won't be very large really anywhere today, just that 5% risk of 1-inch diameter hail in 25 miles, any given location. So watches and warnings, you'll notice right off the dot, you don't see as much as a widespread area. You don't see as many excessive heat warnings. You do have a few counties, several counties in western areas of Alabama that have excessive heat warnings. I believe that includes the county that has Tuscaloosa in it. So very hot. If you got an excessive heat warning in Alabama, it's going to be very uncomfortable because the heat criteria in this part of the country is pretty high. We're just used to it down here in the South for sure. But I can tell you, the I-95 corridor that stretches all the way up, starting from northeast South Carolina or eastern sections of South Carolina near Horry County and Myrtle Beach, all the way up through all the counties in eastern North Carolina, eastern Virginia. You even got a few excessive heat warnings in far southeast Virginia. And then this stretches through the entire Delmarva area, the entire state of New Jersey, New York City area, southern New England. It's going to be very hot today. Very hot. Temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. In fact, it almost hit 100 degrees in New Jersey yesterday. It might have hit 100 degrees. I know the last thing I saw was somewhere hitting 99 degrees. I'm not sure if they ever hit 100, but it is going to be very hot. Very hot today across the I-95 corridor, that's for sure. So let's talk about this as severe weather threat in areas of the Deep South. So we'll keep this moving here, and we're looking at the HRRR model. We're getting into about mid to late morning, getting into about midday, not a whole lot going on. And then we start to reach the mid to late afternoon hours. Some storms begin to pop up in northern Alabama, southern areas of Tennessee, and even, in and around the Atlanta area. And then I think these storms will have a chance to become quite intense as you start to get into the evening hours. The sun's starting to go down. And then I think we're going to have an area of storms that could, like I say, be strong to severe. Starting to drift into Birmingham, maybe Atlanta. And this is 03Z Friday, so this is, around 10-11 p.m. tonight. So it's pretty late tonight. So might not see much most of the day, but I think maybe as we're tucking the kids in to go to sleep, dinner time, after dinner time, most likely, unless you like eating dinner at 11, 12 o'clock at night. I think you'll have a rumble of thunder out there, maybe some severe storms. And then as we get into the overnight hours, these storms could continue. Far south, starting to get into the Montgomery area and southern sections of also Mississippi and Louisiana. So we'll see how this unfolds today. A little bit further east in the Carolinas. This complex of storms is verifying pretty well on radar scope. You can actually see it. Pretty intense little line of storms moving over the mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina, North Georgia. The HRRR model has this area of showers and storms weakening very quickly. Now, if that actually happens, I'm not sure, because actually there's more storms developing over northern Georgia as I speak right now. So either way, this energy left over will kind of move into the Carolinas and refire up storms. So here's a storm right here in the PD upstate areas of South Carolina. This will drift into maybe the Sand Hills area. And the HRRR model, which did fairly well yesterday, likes this little corridor right here stretching from Shelby, North Carolina through Charlotte all the way up through Fayetteville, Rock Hill probably included here, of some intense storms developing and maybe even moving over the same areas. How widespread will the shower and storm coverage be down here in central South Carolina? Not sure. But the HRRR model likes this idea, and then some stronger and severe storms over here in eastern North Carolina. You're going to be begging for it here in eastern areas of Virginia and North Carolina, which I think they will form later this evening. The Delmarva area south of Delaware, Maryland. I think you guys all have a fair share to see some strong to severe storms today. And it'll cool you guys off from almost hitting 100 degrees by the time we get into later this afternoon. So basically, there's a chance that a lot of people could go the entire day and night and not get a drop of rain. But whoever does see it, it could be quite severe. So more broader look, just talking about how this could unfold. Florida, just your daily afternoon showers and storms. It's just like that this time of the year. But like I said, a little area. Well, it's not little, it's pretty wide. We'll stretch from northeast, and we'll talk about Texas in a second, northeast Texas all the way to Virginia. We're just maybe an intense storm or two could certainly develop. Temperatures today, very hot across areas of the eastern Carolinas, eastern Georgia, all the way up through the Delmarva area, where temperatures will likely hit almost 100. In fact, I'm calling it now. I think someone in the eastern areas of Virginia will hit 100 degrees a day. Someone will hit 100. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I'm calling it. I guess that's the same as guaranteeing it. But typical summertime heat for areas of Georgia, South Carolina, maybe a couple degrees above normal. And then very hot temperatures again for areas of Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana. But the good news, it's going to heat up very quick, like you all have been dealing with over the last, it seems like eternity. You guys are going to have some widespread showers and storms that cool you guys off potentially, even a higher chance than yesterday. The Northeast, with this upper low swinging through well to the north, you're going to have basically a whip of showers and storms that develop and start to move through. So they're going to kind of develop here in western New York State, and then some are going to develop in Vermont, maybe New Hampshire, and then they're going to whip through areas of the mountainous regions of the interior Northeast. So you could have a high elevation tornado. You might, you can't totally unrule it out. But these storms will start to make their way into Maine later this afternoon and evening. And, it definitely can be some intense storms that could sweep through Maine. So just be weather aware if you're in this portion of the country right into here. Certainly some powerful storms can move through. But intense heat expected for New Jersey, New York City, even southern New England. You can actually tell with the HRRR model where the valley is and how much hotter it is. The valley that kind of shoots through eastern New York State and into Vermont. In the valley areas, in between the higher mountaintops, you guys are going to get well into the 90s. Albany will probably get into the 90s today, which isn't super uncommon, but it's kind of uncommon at the same time. Hot day in areas of Michigan, and just kind of just more average temperatures behind this upper trough, but very hot temperatures from Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City, up to Boston, well into the 90s, and I think an area or two will try to flirt with 100 degrees. It's going to be even hotter in these areas this weekend. We'll talk about that going forward. The South Central U.S., here's what I'm talking about. We're getting into about lunchtime. We're getting into early this afternoon, and look at these widespread downpours forming in Oklahoma, especially the southern half of the state, northern sections of Texas. Maybe some relief, maybe some showers and storms. Now, I know you guys really need it down here in Central Texas. I'm not seeing as much action, but you folks a little bit further north and North Texas and, eastern Oklahoma, getting even into Arkansas a little bit later this evening. I think you guys are going to have some widespread showers and storms that can give you guys some relief and give you guys some rain, which I know you guys certainly need a lot of rain. A lot of people are praying for rain out here. I've been praying for you guys for sure. But I think before these storms pop off, I mean, it's going to be another hot day. Not quite as hot as yesterday, but I think certain areas are going to try to push 106, 107, 108 degrees. But check out when these storms form right here. They immediately cool down the atmosphere. Rain-cooled air happens, and relief is on the way, kind of like what happened yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see who gets what, or if this overperforms or underperforms. North Central U.S., very quiet weather. Maybe an area of energy moves through Nebraska, some showers and storms, but very quiet conditions. Some showers might drift into southern sections of Michigan. But other than that, pretty quiet day. Temperatures are nice. A big boundary right here between really hot weather and just seasonal weather with temperatures in the 80s in Minnesota, Wisconsin. The further south you get in Michigan, the closer you get to the 90s. Illinois will be very hot in Indiana, but there's a little bit of a boundary where you get more into more comfortable conditions where you're under the influence still of this upper trough that has brought some more comfortable air in. So that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I probably won't get a video in tonight. I got a lot to do to prepare for my little girl's birthday party. But God bless all y'all. Thank y'all. Have a great Thursday.